right. Extremely annoying, but the flight I did earlier today, my voice is completely screwed up in the recording. And so, it's all absolutely worthless. So we're going to do the flight again. I'm going to try recording with something else that might help with how well everything works here. But gonna go ahead and get started up here. It's turned on. Turn on cabin light. Now, fuel on. Fire up the engine. Okay, so, yeah, unfortunately, I've already done this flight, and now I gotta do it again. So we're gonna try it at night. Hopefully, that will make it a little interesting for me, since I kind of already know sort of the area. Go ahead and listen to her real
Fort
quick.
Smith Airport information, Oscar 0600 Zulu. Wind 239er at 7. Visibility.
Port East.
Ground Cessna Kilo November Echo Echo Bravo Oscar November 5 with Oscar request taxi for takeoff east departure.
Cessna Kilo November Echo Echo Bravo Oscar November 5 taxi to and hold short of runway 25 using taxiway Alpha cross runway 19er Alpha. Contact tower on 118 decimal tree when ready.
Taxiing hold short runway 25 using taxiway Alpha cross runway 19er Alpha Cessna Oscar November 5.
Alright, let's find our way down to the runway. Yeah, the flight earlier today, really great looking. Clouds were awesome, and just, it was a good flight, other than the end when I tried to go underneath the clouds, but everything had really gotten overcast and really low, and had to break a few rules, but none of that counted now, because I'm not going to make you guys, like, if it was just my audio, my voice didn't work, that'd be fine, but it sounded like a extremely bad radio where you couldn't even make out what I'm saying. So, just have to scrap it. Part of the deal. Don't know why it happens, but it did. So it looks like it's going to be clear the whole way. And wind doesn't feel too terrible. That's good. Normally if it's really windy like it was earlier today, I'd be having trouble taxiing. Also, you'll notice that the latest update deleted all the hours that I had on the plane. So, that's nice. That just ruined that whole thing. But this will at least be interesting. We'll be able to see a lot of the small towns, and last time we did a night flight was over the Great Salt Lake bed. That was very dark and boring, so...
Tower Cessna Kilo November Echo Echo Bravo Oscar November 5 at runway 25 ready for departure to the east.
Cessna Kilo November Echo Echo Bravo Oscar November 5 altimeter 30.41 wind 239er at 7. Departure to the east approved. Cleared for takeoff runway 25.
Cleared for takeoff runway 25 Cessna Oscar November 5.
It's down 1 click. This is actually going to make it really easy to navigate because probably going to get up in the air and be able to see Little Rock fairly soon, or at least all the towns that lead into it. So we'll miss out on a little bit of scenery. There was some cool looking stuff, but just part of the deal when using electronics. Sometimes they don't work. I think this is like the second video that I've have that happen to. Climb out here.
Cessna Oscar November 5 continue for east departure.
Tower Cessna Kilo November Echo Echo Bravo Oscar November 5 continue for east departure.
Alright. Get turned here. Take landing lights off and taxi lights off. Straight east for a bit as we climb out. So we want to get to about 5,000 since we're not going to be dealing with clouds or anything. Let's just quickly take a look at the city. Got baseball fields down there. Airport back over there. Yeah. Not a whole lot to see. At least once the stars start moving, I'll realize that I'm turning. I think it's going to be easier to navigate when they start looking like they're rotating. So we've got this road that is going to go out and then start turning south later on. We can cut across these mountains straight to Little Rock. It's at about like 110 degrees. I think we will do. It should be fairly easy to pick out. See everything still, and you should be able to on the recording, I hope. That'll just kind of make it easier to see all the terrain. Maybe it'll be easier. I don't know how well this will translate over to YouTube, but things are still pretty bright for being midnight.
Cessna Oscar November 5 leaving my airspace, frequency change approved.
Tower Cessna Kilo November Echo Echo Bravo Oscar November 5 frequency change.
do a
Razorback
flight
approach,
following,
Cessna Kilo November Echo Echo Bravo Oscar November 5 is type Cessna
just so
152 4
maybe,
miles northwest of
I
Kilo
doubt
Alpha
there's
Zulu
going to be any
Uniform,
traffic at midnight,
2,900
but
feet.
you never know.
Request flight following.
Cessna Kilo November Echo Echo Bravo Oscar November 5 Razorback approach. Squawk 3375.
Squawk 3375 Cessna Oscar November 5.
Cessna Oscar November 5 radar contact 3 miles northwest of Kilo Alpha Zulu Uniform, 3,100 feet. Altimeter 30.41.
Roger, Cessna Oscar November 5.
Right. So we're heading directly east still. We can cut across over to this little highway that we see there. And Little Rock is just probably right in front of us. We need to climb out a little better though. Let's go ahead and trim up so that we're doing about 500 a minute. And that is my horrible joystick just randomly turning itself. Hop outside real quick, see what it looks like here. So, still just little towns around. You can see the glow coming off the city. Got something over there. And then some stuff over there that might be Little Rock. I don't know if it would start showing up in the sky already, but we'll definitely be able to tell once we climb up a bit more. I don't think Little Rock would be over that direction, so I'm guessing some of the terrain in the way is kind of blocking what we're seeing. But we are going to go full blast, motor it over there since I've already done this flight. I think the full moon is what is making everything look so much brighter. So, guessing that's got something to do with it. I think we've got an airport here that is going to be, if I remember correctly, Boonville, Arkansas. It'll be a lot easier to figure out where I'm going since you can see the roads, since they all have lights on them, unfortunately. You'd still be able to tell fairly well if there was traffic, but yeah, the amount of lights they put on roads are a bit overkill for what would be realistic. Because there really shouldn't be anything out here other than headlights and then residential street lights. So we get to 5,000, I'll just try to level it off there and we'll just keep on trucking along. Much better weather though. When I flew it earlier today around noon, there was a back end of a storm going through, so it was cloudy and bumpy and kind of hazy, and it looked good, but definitely got difficult once we got closer to Little Rock to fly in without going through clouds. I'm really worried about icing up. We shouldn't have any problems here though, because clearly no clouds other than those over there being lit up. It should take around 55 minutes to get there. Since we're gonna be able to go direct and not get as lost as I was earlier today. Getting lost in the clouds. It can kind of feel at night like you're just not moving. Just gotta focus on the light slowly going past you. It's a lot easier to see terrain and watch it go past than light slowly fading in front of you. They've added a couple of new planes, a jet, and a sort of helicopter slash drone type thing. I've only flown the F-18 just to see how fast it was. Flew it around Omaha. And, yeah, I mean, it's alright. It's obviously dumbed down massively, but that's kind of the point of it, is to just be something you can get across the world fast. It's not supposed to be a big time simulation aircraft. You want one of those, you can pay lots of money for it, and you're probably better off if you want fighter jets going to DCS or whatever it's called. Alright, so this is Boonville.
Cessna Oscar November 5, contact Memphis Center on 119.25. Good day.
119.25 for Cessna Oscar November 5.
Why did we all of a sudden just start nosing down there for no reason? That needs to not happen. Okay, and we're just crazy climbing up. Must be going over some terrain that is shuffling the air around. So yeah, the highway that goes from Fort Smith to Little Rock goes up and around there. Basically, this is a road too. It might be a smaller highway, but I think all these, there's a bunch of towns located all the way along that road on the way to Little Rock. And we're just taking the shortcut over the hills. Hot Springs is gonna be like over here. not a whole lot to see and do. The terrain was cool. It's got just kind of like the folding that you see in Tennessee. We're at 5,600, so we have climbed up. Don't want to climb up too much further. I mean, it's no big deal, but rather not be wasting time going up. We don't need to get over anything. Highest thing is going to be 2,000, I think. Boonville Airport. So we got a baseball field out there. Then we start coming across reservoirs. We're out there. Some towns up there, and then I think Little Rock is, I would say, is probably those lights. Because we're going to be going to kind of the south side of Little Rock. It's kind of, the airport is located. Quickly show you this right here. We're headed in this direction here, so those lights could easily be Little Rock, lighting up the horizon. Yeah, not much to do at this point. I think the full moon is, or not the full moon, but mostly, it's a little over half moon is definitely helping out. Something they really need to get in iRacing, just because I think it would make a difference in some of the tracks that don't have a lot of lighting. And there might be a bit of a difference in visibility for, you know, Le Mans 1 year when you got a full moon, and Le Mans 1 year when you have a new moon. Not that I do that race. One day I will, but I don't know, at this point right now, like, with all the racing that I currently do, like the 24-hour races just do not sound fun, because they just, the way that you got to do it, if you're on a smaller team, is either do really long stints or do a bunch of stints across a half a day, and just kind of drains you. It's fun though, but it's just, you know, like when I was on the team, we won it 1 year in our split. We've gotten second, we've gotten third, we've wrecked out in the first hour. I've experienced it all in that race. So we are still heading at 100 degrees, which is probably about right. I mean, we're gonna have these lights to tell us. I really think that that brightness there on the horizon has got to be Little Rock. So if I kind of see where we head straight east. It's actually yeah, this road that we're following along now will kind of start turning off this way. And if we just keep following this direction, it will lead us straight there. So it makes sense what I'm seeing on the horizon. Can't tell if there's like a bit of haze forming up there. Noticed that there was a lot of like new haze around the ground when I went and flew the jet. We're almost up to 6,000. But it's flying fairly steady right now, so head too far east. So yeah, I'm still thinking about what I'm gonna do for videos once this flight is complete and we land in Miami or Homestead or whatever part of the southern tip of Florida I decide on. I definitely want to do something this time with autopilot, just to allow me to do a bit more like research and looking around while flying instead of trying to hold this half working joystick in the right spot. Like the challenge of this flight was to first off take this slow plane all the way across the US and do it VFR without any radio aids, just looking at a map and looking at what I'm flying over. And then also to just have to hand fly it all. But once we get the US covered, that's good enough for me, and we can start going in something faster doing some more interesting things. So definitely some clouds off that way. A little bit of haze over here. And then we got a little airport off to our left, right here. That is, check. That is Belleville, Arkansas, or Danville, Arkansas. Two towns are on opposite sides of the airport. Up by the train we're going over. So at this point, we are headed in the right direction. And we're starting to see a bit of city there. Now it might not be, that could be Marlton or Conway. we're definitely seeing a bit of civilization. Not that we are out of it, but dense urban area. Yeah, there's definitely a little bit of haze cloud over there. Starting to see a lot more lights just over the hills right there. So that is going to be Little Rock right in front of us. It's definitely getting brighter, and you can every once in a while just see a bit of the actual lights and not the light pollution coming off of it. Not much to our north, and a whole lot of nothing to our south. If I could tell you what the red dot is over there, I would. I don't know if that's a planet. That would be might be. I don't know if it's bright enough though. It's hard to tell how detailed everything goes with this, because if it's really detailed, then the planets would be in different spots at different times of the year to the stars. Not sure if it's that detailed. Kind of just looks like a mesh, not a mesh, but a skybox that maybe they can program planets to move around in. The moon definitely moves and goes through its phases. You have to have that. Planets aren't too big of a deal. Alright, so we are coming up on reservoir in front of us. I believe that is Emerald Lake. Fly directly over that, and so we're still on the correct path. We're a little over 6,000 feet now. The road is starting to go off that direction, straight. We're a little northeast, like I said it would. Then we will go over a bit of, I don't know if it's like a wilderness reserve or just really wooded, hilly, mountainous areas, but there's going to be a whole lot of nothing below us for a bit. Then once we get over that, we should be able to start seeing the city. Let's hop outside real quick, take another look. So I think down there is going to be hot springs. Alright, right on the horizon. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but there's definitely actual city lights starting to appear. hopefully this is recording at a decent quality. It's not the normal program I use, but I decided we'd go ahead and test it out. See if it helped with the game not having a few stutters, which we've been good, but I also don't have a ton of clouds to render in like I did on the first time I did this flight. Yep. Now you can see Little Rock. Which means that so we're about 5,000 feet above ground, which means the horizon is about 80 to 90 miles out. Which sounds about right. 37 minutes into the video, and about halfway. So behind us, I don't know if it'll be right enough, but I'm going to assume that's Fort Smith, probably about 90 miles behind us. So it'll be interesting to see. I don't remember what photogrammetry towns look like at night, how detailed they go into that. A really bright red light over there. Not sure if that's an airport. Maybe it's Hot Springs. Or Saline County. I don't think it'd be Saline County. No, there need to be more lights around that. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a wind farm. They need to get more of the cell towers and everything put in to the game. That would definitely add a bit more to the terrain. A lot more red lights out here. There we go. There's Little Rock. I'm gonna guess the airport is right there. We're going to be landing to the north, at least what it said in the flight plan. Clouds are getting closer, but we're not going to have to worry about them over there. At 6,500. We'll be able to start going down once I'm comfortable with knowing what is under us. Right now we're going over that wilderness area that is the higher terrain that we're going to be getting around, and, well, there's a whole lot of nothing under it. So yeah, when I flew this earlier today, right around here, I started to descend to go through a hole in the clouds, and I ended up down here at this town and had to like follow the interstate about 500 feet off the ground up to Little Rock. That made for some interesting flying, because there was some heavier clouds and some rain, and it was not what I wanted to do, but luckily you won't have to suffer through me being terrible at that, and you get to see a black screen for most of the time. I really hope this turns out okay. I know that black can be very hard to see sometimes on streams and recordings, so hopefully it is coming across okay. Go ahead and flip on dome just for a moment. So we've been sitting at around 100 knots as we're pushing full throttle this whole time. Haven't even messed with the mixture. Didn't even think about it. Fuel, we're fine. Everything's good there. But go back out so that you can properly see. We have a very calm, cool night. Going about 20 knots faster than I was earlier today as well, so that has sped this whole process up. Other than having to record it twice. Might do some more night flights. Made it easier to navigate, but boring to miss out on the terrain. Maybe we'll do some maybe early morning and evening, now that I know that this isn't too bad to fly in when you're not going over a desert. Alright, so we are going to start looking out for that airport. Still thinking it is maybe that right there. Now there is an airport to the north. Let's go ahead, we're going to call into... Oops, I forgot to...
Memphis Center, Cessna Kilo, November, Echo Bravo, Oscar, November 5, 6,500 feet.
Cessna Kilo November Echo Bravo Oscar November 5 Memphis Center altimeter tree 0.36 continuous plan.
And then we're going to cancel.
Memphis Center, Cessna Oscar November 5 cancel flight following.
Cessna Oscar November 5 Memphis Center cancellation received. Squawk 1200. Frequency change approved.
It's going to be pretty far out still, but oh, maybe it's too far out. No, North Little Rock and Adams. Let's listen to what the weather is.
Adams Airport Information Uniform 0600 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility 10. Sky condition, clear.
Visual runway 36. Okay.
Adams Tower, Cessna Kilo, November, Echo, Echo, Bravo, Oscar, November 5 is 40 miles west, 6,500
Cat
feet with uniform to
is
land.
tangled in.
Cessna Kilo, November, Echo, Echo, Bravo, Oscar, November 5, Adams Tower. Altimeter tree 0 decimal tree 6 wind com, make left traffic runway tree 6.
Cat just got tangled up in the cord
Make left traffic, runway tree
Or the
6,
joystick.
Cessna, Oscar, November 5.
and almost ripped it out of the USB. Alright. So still 40 miles out. But I think that is our airport. There's a lot of red lights along there too. There's definitely not that many airports over there. So the road that leads into town, kind of, I think the airport's actually up in here. Gonna dip again. So we got the interstate over there. That's coming up from Benton. Or going through Benton. I think we're looking at Benton over there. Just gonna go directly east. That. Let's see. Is that the Arkansas that's dammed up right there? Don't think so. Yeah, it might be. Okay, so that gives me a better idea of where we're at. Maybe those are towers that they've got lit up over there. So now I'm thinking, ooh, airport is there. But that could just be, they have like baseball fields and everything lit up in white lighting. I mean, it's going to be easy to spot once we get there. I just want to be going in the correct direction. Getting kicked around a bit. We are at 6,250. Airport is at I don't know the elevation. Around 500, 600. So this road that we're seeing going up into town goes just south of the airport, which would maybe put it right around here. Then downtown is going to be somewhere there. We still got some hills you can kind of see right here. There's a hill blocking our view of the lights going into the city, so can't start dropping yet. I mean, we could, because we've got probably 5,000 feet until we get the ground, even out here. That cloud's pretty cool there, though. I'm glad it's not just perfectly clear. See how the light reflects off the side of it from the city. You got shadowing under it. You'd see it, if it was over the city, you would see underneath of it lit up. But heading straight east right now. Still trying to pick out where the airport is. The airport actually looks really good. I'm hoping it looks really nice at night too. Off on the horizon over there, we got more lights, which is Pine Bluff, I would assume. This game, though, looks so good. Alright, so need to start dropping now. Just trim down instead of pulling the power back and dropping. We're gonna get into the yellow a bit here as we drop, but since this is the second time I've done this flight, I'd like to get it over with. What I really like, though, is this game is so difficult to pick out airports sometimes. Especially if you're not familiar with the area, like everywhere we're going pretty much. So we're gonna head over here, catch the interstate highway. I think the airport might actually be I don't know. Struggling to find it right now. We're down to 5,700. Need to get to around 3,000. There we go. Got the airport in sight now. See the taxi lights and the ILS lights going in. That would be for the runways we're not going to be landing on. So we're going to be landing to the north. We're going to do a nice little short turn in, so I'm going to just start heading straight this direction. You see North Little Rock Airport up over here. We're now closing in on 5,100. Got an airplane over there. That's unexpected. Not heard anyone on the radio. Interesting. I mean, they could easily be going to a different airport, but they seem very, very low right now. Kind of headed directly at the runway we're landing at. So, I don't know.
Adams Tower, Berry 23511 miles southwest inbound RNAV runway 36 approach.
There you go.
Berry 235 Adams Tower. Altimeter 30.36 wind 010 and 12. Cleared RNAV runway 36 approach.
Someone else out flying at 1:30 in the morning.
Cleared RNAV runway 36 approach, Berry 235.
What's that? Berry 235. Maybe it's freight. Alright, we are at 4,000. And get in line with these roads. Those two runways that you can see are angled from the runway that we're going to be landing at. This first runway here almost touches 36, which you'll see plane crossing in front of us. Head over.
Berry 235 wind 010 and 12. Cleared to land runway 36.
Got some wind now. It's not calm anymore. Alright.
Cleared to land runway 36, Berry 235.
Back off on the throttle just a bit. And slow ourselves down so that this guy gets landed. We are at 3,000. Continue to drop, get to 25. Yeah, the red lights must be like some smaller towers within towns. Definitely think, I don't, maybe they aren't tall enough for cell towers and stuff like that. I don't think they are, though. Alright, so even though it sounds and feels like we're going really slow, we're still 109 knots airspeed. We are at 2,750. Level out at 2,500. And yeah, that's probably about right. Alright. $2,600 leveled off. Sure, we don't have to say anything. We don't. Okay, we're going to go ahead and turn on landing and taxi lights. They are on. We'll check. Yes, they are. $2,500 now. We're about ready to make a left turn in. We will not be landing in the direction of the runways that you can see. There is a third runway. That will eventually start showing up. What to line myself up with. It's not this first road. I think this second road, though, will be a good place to turn left. Looks like that leads right in. You can start to see the lights for 3-6. Pull this up right now so that I don't have to try to do stuff while we're turning. If they're even going to give us the okay to land. Alright. Slow her down. See downtown a little easier now. Starting to see some of the buildings. We are at, it's a little over 2,000. Right at 2,000, speed's still 100.
Cessna Oscar November 5, wind tree 40 at 12. Cleared to land runway tree 6.
Cleared to land runway tree 6 Cessna Oscar November 5.
Okay, so can be difficult to keep an eye on speed. We are too low right now. Let's realize that. Just a little bit of right rudder to push me over, and we'll be able to turn it back left. Okay, there we go. Left rudder, drag us over here as I turn back right, and we're good there. We just need to stay at this altitude, kill some speed. Actually, let's kill some, there we go, got a white. So looking at the right side, right at the start of the runway, red and white lights, we got those. We're gonna kill off speed. We're still going fast. It feels like we're just stopped in midair, even though we're not. Pull a little bit of flap there, and I need to trim this up so I'm not pulling back on the stick so much. Get it trimmed out here. There we go. Feeling better. Okay, back the speed off again. And click. Allow us to get a little more throttle in. Just follow the happy lights. Wait, red, yeah, red meant that I was too low, too white means we're too high. Full flaps. Down a bit more, bring the nose down, try to get some altitude out of this. There we go. Right at the top edge of it. Got the speed going good. Holding steady there. And to get us a little left rudder. Left. It's back to center. Holding at 60. definitely going to land on the runway, so altitude is good. Lead off a bit more speed. Low, that's fine. Well,
Cessna Oscar November 5 exit
that
runway when able.
was a successful landing there. Not a whole lot of wind to mess me up. Get flaps back up. Axion over here.
Cessna Oscar November 5 contact ground on 121.9er.
Do that. Not actually.
121.9er Cessna Oscar November 5.
Ramp rats. Just lost your magic wand in your right hand there, bud. There. Okay. Alright. That was not too terrible of a flight. I thought we were going to have a lot more issues than what we did. Let's hop out real quick and take a look around. Get speed up and hide the mouse. So, yeah, downtown here, and the buildings at night look kind of bad. It's doing the best it can. Could be better. It definitely looks a lot better in daytime. Just some of the lighting can be a little weird. We do have arena over here, then minor league team, I assume, and yeah, here is Little Rock, Arkansas. So that was pretty good flight. I'm glad I did it at night. Kind of added to it. Here's their North Airport, and I think that's an Air Force base over there. Quick. Yeah, Little Rock Air Force. So we are now in Little Rock. So I hope that was okay to watch, and I hope it recorded properly. Do not want to have to do multiple flights each time. So, yeah, thanks for watching.